That's what I like about Katie Daley's poetry. It is the deep purple meat of our character. Here and there, people we know, people we don't know. You'll hear it tonight, right now. Katie fucking Daley, come on! Thank you.
Yeah, I just gotta set myself up here.
Whichever comes last. I've got 17.
All right, thank you, Nick. I was looking forward to your introduction, man. I just love your introductions.
Yes! You're welcome.
And thank you, Steve, for putting this venue together. This is one of my favorite venues in Cleveland for poetry. First poem I'm going to do, does anyone here know the little town, Provincetown, Massachusetts?
Yeah, baby, P-Town.
Yep.
It's on the very tip of Cape Cod. It's like surrounded on three sides by the sea, and it's full of outsiders, artists, writers, gay men, lesbians, Portuguese fisher people, and rich people. You know how outsiders are really rich. So anyway, the first time I went there was 1974, and this is the poem. I wrote this in 2004, but it's called Shoplifting in Provincetown, 1974. We came... Could you turn the music off, please?
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. It's just not a rap poem.
Yeah.
Okay. We came for the hippies, the pirates. I was uproarious from leaping the Wellfleet dunes with my second cousin all morning. Way too mutinous and free for the trinkets on Commercial Street. But it was pissing with rain, and all the bars were shut. So we slinked in and out of the bourgeois tourist shops till I thought, Abby Hoffman says, steal this book. Well, why not this spangled red shirt, too? Why not anything when there are thousands more of them, puffed out and bragging at me from the racks of America? The Indian guy who owned the shop beamed and nodded as we slipped into the dressing room. For all I knew, his own emaciated cousins back in India were mangling their fingers 16 hours a day in some murky factory, slicing tiny mirrors in the dark and embroidering them onto shirts like these. My working class cousin hadn't even heard of Abby Hoffman or slave labor, so I thought, to hell with all of them. I'm 17 years old, and I'm gonna change this fucked up world. And even though I look too chubby in it, I'm gonna start by stealing this shirt. On the way out, when I told the guy we couldn't afford his prices, a great puzzled sorrow broke across his face and itched the gauzy merchandise I'd stuffed into the crotch of my jeans. 30 years later, I'm still dazzled, dumbfounded by his apologetic eyes, the dark and musty bar we got drunk in afterwards. How jealous I was of my cousin's good looks. All the pirates in the place scudding right past my red-hot spangles in pursuit of her, who looked terrific in everything and had stolen nothing. It's called Root Cellar Blues. After you said goodbye for good, I tried to cry, but the few sobs I squeezed out were just prissy swans bent towards the phone. So I dropped a bunch of empty bottles into a paper bag and drove downtown to a city park nobody goes to anymore. Even though I yelled and lobbed them hard, they just wobbled in slow motion among snowflakes before they fell apart against the wall. Up in the parking lot, a cop car idled. The officer never even looked my way. For all I knew, he was getting a blowjob. Though you and I never called it that. Sounded too much like work. Or something bolted to the ground like the grease gun down at Dino's Auto Repair. We used verbs instead. Like suck. May I suck you? Baby, let me suck you. I cooed that first June from the floor of your Toyota Corolla as you steered us through Iowa and Nebraska. You were Tyrone the truck driver and I was Shanisha the hitchhiker while B.B. King's brass section spilled big yellow lilies of desire out the car speakers. The windshield went blue with your yelling. I didn't want a litter or for anybody to cut themselves, so I swept the shards back into the bag and drove to the suburbs. Snuck them into somebody's curbside recycling bin. Kinda like the night you and I dressed up as burglars. Pulled old pantyhose and ski masks over our faces and hauled our junk up to the gas station dumpster up on Route 44. Sometimes laughter swelled up from my deepest tuba, dancing in my underwear on top of Gideon's 10 Commandments and your open hand, blowing down the old hang-ups at Jericho, calling out her uptight citizens and teaching them the rumba, baby, the salsa extra suprema, baby. Sometimes I glanced over and saw you pushing around a few half-hearted chuckles, not that different from the half-assed tears I choked up by the phone. Sometimes that's the way it is. You want the feeling, but it just won't come. Or maybe you don't. All along, you were thinking, it might be better with somebody else. Take a good look at me, baby. There's nobody better than this Aurora Borealis hitchhiker who used to stand before you in the watermelon light with a black iron skillet in her backpack, willing to throw your ugly, eye-crazy potatoes into the pan with hers any time of the day or night. There's nothing else out there, baby. Nothing but your own reluctance to burn for what you already have. Your refusal to desire the long ribbon of breathing, kicking highway you're already on.
Suck, don't blow. It's only an expression.
Alright, this next one is also about Provincetown. It's just an excerpt from a really long poem about the goddess Venus and her man Pan, the goat. They came to Provincetown in summer 2004. They rode in the red rowboat. And this is just her, Venus, she gets out of the boat. She's a really big, beautiful, planet-sized black woman, and Pan is this bright white goat, and they get out of this red rowboat, and they come over to one of the main characters in the poem, and this is what Venus says. And by the way, when I lived in Provincetown for the summer, one of my favorite things was seeing men walking down the street holding hands with each other, and that's such a tender kind of affection. I think if men can hold hands with each other, then maybe the world's gonna be all right.
Come on,
it always
Steve.
gave me hope.
I do hugs.
Oh, sorry. I can't read that.
No free hand holds.
No free hand jobs?
Okay, here it is. This is Venus on her. The title of the poem is Venus Comes to Provincetown in the Second Summer of Love, 2004. Morning. My name's Venus. And this here, my man Pan. World Love Tour 2004. Coming into Provincetown for some R&R. It's been rugged, baby. Some days, the world feels like a bruised little doll in a burnt-down forest. The only lullabies, bomber jets whining in the sky. AK-47s clapping out the time. The folks in charge investing in grave rubbings and riot gear. The rest of us up at the beauty shop getting our tear ducts removed. No more imagination than a can of hair. Nobody home. Alright, let the basket be empty then. Bring that emptiness on. That is one of my jobs after all. To break each heart, then wipe it clean. For instance, down in Brazil, we slept in a bed pulled right up to where the waves break. You want to be serenaded? Somebody to see you, know you? Every other breath is your name when you're kicking off dreams by the sea. Which is another reason I'm here. So what if it's a busy tourist town? I like the company. And all these men holding hands with each other? Now that's what I call homeland security. Oh, talk about a bunch of good omens strolling down the street. Talk about a new world order. So, I'm gonna stick around for a while till my rapture's back on track. And as for you, you wanna know how to stay forever hot and young like me? You might wanna try cultivating your curiosity, sugar. Your sense of delight in the other. There's always deeper and darker in this sea to go. I know. It's not easy treasuring your own human mess. Sometimes when I'm here, I look down at myself and I think, how did a hot piece of ass like me get trapped in all this flesh and bone? But when you get right down to it, this body's just another incarnation of itinerant love, trying to make the world a better place, one dirty, broken heart at a time. So, wish me well, baby. And mom's the word. Well, they'll put me to work. And when you're done making your love voodoo in the sand, come see about me and Pan. We'll be here. We'll be everywhere.
Yeah!
I'm at a traffic light. I'm at a traffic light in Kalispell, Montana, and my dead friend Jeremy's song tape is playing in my car. Here on the highway, everyone's spinning the wheel around. And I swear to you, at the same time, a guy in a souped-up Chevy Nova keeps revving his engine. Vroom, vroom. And I see his license plate number is K-A-S-N-O-V-A. Casanova. Casanova. And I swear to you, at the same time I see this, Jeremy's crooning, everything's born out of simple love. I thought Jeremy was dead. Thought this Casanova guy was just a show-off bully asshole, but the signs are everywhere. Casanova. He just wants some love. And he thinks this jacked-up Nova's gonna fetch it for him, and maybe it will. Just like Jeremy thought his songs would do. And they're doing it, Jeremy. I'm loving you at this traffic light in Montana, torquing the volume way up on you. Casanova too. I love you, dude. And you two guys may not know it, but you're loving each other too. Hardly anybody knows it. The belly lady in Memphis. breathless and bellyless in her girdle. The Seattle billionaire backing his lonely Ferrari out of his 27-car garage. Bomber pilots climbing into their B-52s. But this summer, I was looked in the eyes by 2 coyotes, 1 seal, and a bear. So you see, I have a recent recollection of love. And I met a trumpet poet back in Vancouver. He unlocked his rib cage and showed me the confetti rising and falling in there and blowing through the gate. I'll never forget that confetti blowing through the gate. And I get so I want to say something back to all that, but I don't know what it is. If there's music, my gates unhitch and gyrate off into the Milky Way. My hips and pelvis become fireflies. They say, fire. They say, there's nothing more meaningful to say than this. And I say, will you be a body around me? Will you dance with me? Look, let's face it, time is a bust and space is a bang, and here we lie, the scattered pieces, falling apples that have rolled to a stop. We may spend our entire lives learning to taste the bruises and swallow them whole. See what I mean? Here I still am at that traffic light in Montana, thinking about sweeping these miraculous apples out of my way so I can keep on rolling. But lucky for me, Coyote in the next car over pulls up close, honks on horn, says, "You want to dance? You came here to dance, so pick up your apple and dance." Oh. Yeah. Thank you. I'm just going to do one more. What was I going to say?
Must have been alive.
Must have been really good. I was going to thank you guys. Thanks for coming out, everybody. It's so good to see all these familiar faces. I love this venue. I want a little more heckling, though. I'm missing the heckling.
Get off the stage!
All right. Starting to warm up a little bit. Comments, protestations, exclamations.
Nice pants!
All right, I'm starting to feel better now. Let's start over. I'm going to spend another 20 minutes up here. Okay, this one is my, some of you guys might know, I do a bunch of characters, and one of them is Bridget Mulrooney. She's from Ireland, and she's usually about 15 years old.
Yeah!
And
Did I say that loud? I'm sorry.
This time she's a little bit younger, I think, 12 or 13.
Alright!
Oh, man! Where you been all my life, man? Where were you for the last 15 minutes?
Dealing with all 12-year-olds. What do you mean? No, I'm joking. Wow.
So this
wink.
I just wrote this recently, so I hope I have it memorized here. I might have to stop in the middle. It's called Touched in the Head. Me brothers are jabbing their fingers and laughing like prison guards at me imagination. Blabbering and sing-songing up and down me spine, crooning to each other that I'm touched in the head. The way I believe in circus music, sawdust, and elephant tears. They've been laughing that way ever since I was a wee one. And I put me eyeball up to a white speckle of dirt in a hole they dug and saw China. They were the ones who told me it was there, and I swear to you, I was all goosebumps and bird wings floating over a cobblestone square that was twirling with straw hats and ringing with bicycle bells. They sounded like xylophones from the North Star. And I tried to tell me brothers all about it, but they just hooted and nearly fell into the hole on top of me, giddy as they were from the power of having interrupted me dreams with cold, hard facts and ridicule. They're not so giddy now that they're a little bit older though. Just mean and sneering like the soldiers and priests, telling us not to look and what to think and all. Like I said, they're still snickering about me latest, how I haven't had sex yet, but wonder in me supposedly private diary if it plays like somersaults in the marrow, or like gravity, which to me feels like Earth pulling us closer and closer to itself. And why would it do that if it didn't fancy us, at least a wee bit? Touched in the head. I could stand here all day long in me concrete shoes, shouting, "No!" and listen to the echoes of it scatter up the chimney like ashes. But I'm finally ready to move on, to genuflect, to Aurora Borealis and all the street scrubbers of the world, as well as to God. I've got this idea to scrap scrub brushes on my own feet and skate through the suds all the way to China. Or maybe somewhere more magic. I'm thinking New Orleans. Somewhere I can listen to my own night dreams being played on a stranger's trombone while I dig through the wreckage to another world. There's a whole slew of undeclared holidays down there. I just know it. And a fantastic jukebox that makes everybody equal in the eyes of their Louis Armstrongs and their Etta James. I'm not making this up. I swear to you. By now I've had me heart broken enough times to what? Let me start a little bit back here. I swear to you, I'm not making this up. By now I've had me heart broken enough times to watch the cockroaches scurry through the bedtime stories without cringing. It's just that I've come to prefer earthquakes in the heart and butterflies in the belly to barbed wire fences in the brain. Yeah, let there be rust. Let there be wire cutters. Let there be life-changing storms. Let me find myself in the apex of a 10-meter high wave. Let me break in a cacophony of contradictions, all back scratchers in a traffic jam, all pillow fights in a war. You see, there's no street soldier that can occupy this freedom. And no matter what me brothers do or say, I will ride the wild horse out of the ring, barefoot and standing. Me sense of wonder will sail over their disbelief like that horse over the gate and pass straight through their scorn like the entire Irish Sea through a sieve. Thanks a lot for listening. Thanks a lot, you guys.
More.
Encore!
More.
Hey! Could there possibly be some...
I forgot to pimp myself.
Now, she knows all about sucking.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. I have this really tough character that's really good at selling things. I'm gonna bring her out right now. Sophie, man. Okay, listen. Katie just published all these at Copy King. That's her publisher. And Coyote at the Wheel. That poem I did about the coyote driving in Kalispell, Montana. That's in this one. And then the Venus poem in Provincetown, Shoplifting in Provincetown, the blowjob poem, all in this one, $7. It's $7 because of the blowjob. And also because it's upside down and because it's a color cover, you know. And this one's really got a lot of cool stuff in it too. Some of Bridget's other monologues are in here. And also, with Full Blast Alive Voices from the Ruby side. A lot of Katie's characters are on here, plus 2 bonus tracks with music, poems, and music behind them. And wow, it's really cool how there's like a Tinkerbell in the room right now. It's kind of going around on people's faces. You will buy this CD. It's only $10. The other one's $5. This one's $7 because of the blowjob. That one's $5.
Hey, this page is stuck together. What's going on?
What's $5 anymore? I mean, you won't miss it tomorrow. What's $7? What's $10 even? So come on down. I have a bunch over there. I'll sign. Katie will sign them. I won't. Katie's a little too shy to do this kind of thing. Alright, thanks a lot for listening, you guys. And I'm looking forward to the open mic because I'm sure that me and Alan really inspired a lot of really great spontaneous poems.
Want some Slayer? No Slayer this time. No Slayer.
Katie Daley was the Slayer.
Yeah.
Way to go.
The what?